Mazda 6 GH. Very often, the Mazda 6 GH engine line, with the exception of the 2.5 engine, is accused of chronic oil burn. However, the practice of selection has shown that the oil in the engine does not burn for everyone, but only for those on which lovers have managed to ride to drown the pedal. Relatively new examples with a careful owner usually do not have hard deposits under the valve cover at all. The only thing is that after 100,000 kilometers, almost everyone begins to add oil little by little, although in general the entire aggregate line, 1.8, 2.0, 2.5, is reliable and allows you not to think about major repairs at all in the first 350,000 kilometers. Little things happen, of course. For example, once every 100,000 kilometers you have to clean the damper and adjust the valves. There are no hydraulic lifters. By 200,000, the chain is already decently stretched. It's worth it once, not so much to spend money and forget about the problems. Mazda 6 transmission-related faults are also very rare. Manual gearboxes note difficulties with the inclusion of the second stage, which is more likely to be blamed on the gear selection mechanism than on the hardware itself. The clutch serves at least 150 TkM. Automatic, if you periodically change the oil in it, also does not ask for food or drink, allowing you to enjoy the adequacy of work and quickness. The most common disease Mazda 6 GH play in the steering. You can check its presence by shaking the steering wheel from side to side, sharpening your hearing in the area of the pedals. As you know, the rail knocks, or rather its sleeve, which can be changed separately, but at the same time it will be necessary to find a turner who will carve the same, but already from metal. Only in this way the issue is resolved once and for all. Such a procedure costs from 15 to 20 TR. Half of the Mazda 6 GHs we tested before purchase had rack knocking and needed to be fixed. Mazda does not live long in wheel bearings. Native details hold no more than 50 TkM. Further, it will depend on the chosen substitute. However, few analogs can overcome the indicated mileage. There are practically no problems with the rest of the parts and suspension units. By 100,000, the SPU racks and bushings will die, and by 200 TkM you can prepare your wallet for more serious investments, or rather, for the complete replacement of silent blocks that are used to ending with this world collectively, that is, simultaneously. A good indicator preceding this event is the rear wheels, which have become in a house position, as well as a decrease in ground clearance. There are practically no problems with the body due to the manufacturer's Mazda 6. The only exception is not the most heat-resistant plastic on the headlights, which can melt from heating when the dipped headlights are on. This happens only for cars in the fat configuration with the AFC cornering lighting system when parked with the wheels turned to the side. For such bubbles you can and should ask for a rather big discount, since such headlights are indecently expensive. Interestingly, the taillights were also at fault, but I'll immediately reassure you that you don't need to change them. You just need to process their docking points with the body with a sealant once to prevent rainwater from entering the trunk. At the same time, it will not be superfluous to thoroughly lubricate the seals of the rear sash opening button, the contacts of which also become damp over time and break contact. It is useless to look for corrosion on a slanted Japanese, at least if the car did not participate in an accident. The last one is already difficult. As we have already said, the Mazda 6 audience is mostly low-aged, so most cars on the used market have traces of body repairs of various kinds, from cosmetically restored to once wrapped in a knot. The search for unbeaten, unpainted can drag on for a long time. Very often there are variants on sale that are technically launched, and almost half of the tested specimens have twisted mileage, which is not duplicated in any of the ECU units, which means that it remains to focus only on a set of indirect signs of the mileage traveled. Looking for a good option will take a long time, but it's worth it. The cost of spare parts for the Mazda 6 is rather big, but with a competent approach to buying, expenses will be required infrequently. A well-groomed version, even with a mileage of 150 TkM or more, is able to please with carefree operation. Even the presence of knocks in the rail is not a reason to abandon the car, at least if everything else is in order. Once you do it right, and the steering will no longer bother you.